Hello, and welcome to Get Pod Local, the podcast where we ask if DC is not a state and America is a country, then why are we calling it the Great American State Fair?
Welcome to Get Pod Local.
Hi, my name is Jalon, and I keep up with the news for you.
And I'm Joey, and I keep up with the policy for you.
And together we help you vote smarter, not harder. And today we are talking the Texas Democratic Convention. We're talking briefly about one of the biggest news stories, and we correctly crash out about something. Evergreen. Let's jump right in because Joey, you literally just came back from the Texas Democratic Convention.
I'm just getting home from it. It was super fun.
Girl, the photos you were posting. At a certain point, I said, hey, y'all, just follow Joey. She's posting on her actual page. I'm like, I can't. I also want to thank you for live slacking the entire convention for me. Like, on one part, I'm watching the World Cup, and then I'm getting live slacks of everything happening at the Texas convention. I was like, I'm literally living my dream. I get to do both things I give a shit about at the same time. I didn't have to go to Corpus Christi. You're live slacking.
I was slacking you like who spoke, exciting things that happened, random photos along the way. Yeah, I definitely, that should have been like a little photo diary type of thing. Yeah. A lot happened. And because I covered the convention very thoroughly in my newsletter, I would send our viewers to the newsletter to go through and figure out or hear what all happened. The most important thing I think that's kind of like a homework thing that I really would like everyone to do is to spend some time looking at the Texas Democratic Party's platform, which spent weeks and weeks of work for people to kind of work up. And then the entire convention, basically all Democrats have agreed to all of these items in here. So it's basically where Democrats lie on all the issues and how we would take action if we were elected. And so the platform is something that we kind of can hold all Democratic candidates to account with once they are elected. And our platform is very progressive. People should know that. The Texas Democratic platform is historically known as being one of the most progressive in the country. It always has been, and it always will be, because Texas Democrats are progressive.
Progressiveness started here. Yeah, progressiveness started here. Yeah, for the most part. And then real quick, yes, we are Texas-based and we are Texas-focused, but everything we say can be copy and pasted for any state. So we implore everybody to look at their party's platform.
100%, no matter where you live. Absolutely. Check your party's platform once they've had their convention. That's going to tell you how your state, first of all, what they prioritize issues-wise. That's really informative, right? But more importantly, how would they take action in these issues? I think that's something that voters could inform themselves with, because that helps you talk about why the Democratic Party may be better representative of what the people want. Texas has become much more, in our messaging, Texas Democrats were more populist. We're more for the people. We're more for privacy these days than Republicans. So a lot of things that I think messaging-wise we used to think of as Republicans are in our favor these days. We are much more fiscally responsible, all the things. So hoping people will check out the platforms no matter where you live. And then when you do attend a convention, any convention, right, you're always going to be given like that little convention bag when you arrive.
Look at that tote.
So we'll do a little unboxing, show you what we got this
year.
Look
at that tote. That's a cute tote.
So here's the convention bag. Nice.
Love it.
Nice. It has 1846 from when we started the Texas Democratic Party.
If you know anybody that does not want their tote, I will take their tote.
We do know someone in the party. We might see if they had any extras with.
I'll
ask it.
I will proudly will. Ooh.
So we got a bottle, ranked choice voting. I actually have Fair Vote Action, I guess is a nonprofit that supported these bottles. Ranked choice voting, and we did ranked choice voting for the first time.
Amazing.
Party-wide at the convention. We voted one time digitally, and when you did that, you ranked your candidates, and because of that, it was done. Once you submitted, you were done. Whereas previously, every other year before ranked choice voting, which started just this time, every other time we've gone to the convention, you do your first vote, and then everyone has to debate and argue, and then there's like a second round of vote, and it literally took the whole day previously. And so now That was wiped off the schedule, which is great because we just all voted at one time.
I have a friend who is a dual citizen with America and Australia. I was visiting last year when Australia had their big election. And it was the
Good.
first time I saw their mail-in ballot, and it was massive.
Yeah.
And I think they do rank voting too. And it's like you see like all the candidates, and it's like one or two, like you just sit there and go, who's one, who's two for each, seat or whatever. And it was fast.
Exactly. If there were 8 candidates, you would mark all of them in your order that you would prefer, all 8 of them. So, for county chair or party chair for Texas, we had, I can't remember, 5 or 6 candidates. Our candidate, Kendall Scudder, won easily, as we all expected. We were really happy about the unity around Kendall and all the work he's doing, and we're excited to see him continue representing Texas so well as he has.
Yeah.
And so that part was cool too.
Congratulations, Kendall. I know he's probably not watching. He's very busy, but congratulations, Kendall.
Very busy, very busy.
Yeah, we're big fans.
Let's see what else we have in the bag. So you got to get your program.
By the way, I love that you are an influencer now doing this unboxing. This is my favoriteest thing in the entire world.
I'm hoping you're going to edit this down to like a 20-second piece, but whatever.
I'm making this the longest part of this entire thing.
This is separate. Angel did her unboxing, and when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, that's such a damn good idea." Which, by the way, we elected Angel to a leadership seat. She was on leadership on one of the convention committees, I want to say, and then she also won a leadership seat on the Stonewall board, so a caucus position. Amazing. So it's really cool. I'm sure she'll get more involved in the SCEC as I will be doing. So that's good stuff. So here is our convention program. It's got stuff like the schedule. It's got invitations to all kinds of parties. It's got the map. It's got all the stuff you're going to need.
Real quick, shout out to the Texas Democratic Party's new logo.
Yes, they literally launched that new brand like Sunday night or Monday, like purposefully right after the convention, all about diversity being the positive, about being what makes us beautiful. Yeah. Got to have your convention lanyard, Texas Democratic women's lanyard. It's kind of a thing. They do it every time. You have to go find the Texas Democratic women. Kendall Scudder gave us all sunglasses. You got to have some fans. The party gave us all a postcard to send someone about voting. So that was cute. I like that.
That is cute.
We all got Human Rights Campaign, HRC stickers in the bag. That was cool. And then Talarico gave us all these little, I think they're tattoos. Yeah. And then Dallas County gave everyone our Dallas County delegate pins. So everyone got one of those. As a matter of fact, I got you one of a whole shit ton of buttons. I got you tons of stickers. I got you some stuff. Anyway, lots of stuff. Let's see. I was lucky to smartly choose to stay in a house with some friends, a bunch of precinct chairs, and Judge Adam Schwartz joined us, so we had a judge with us. But we were called the Dank Delegation, which does mean what you expect it to. It was a very fun house. And Kristen Schamberger, who's one of my friends, an organizing friend, who happens to work for Judge Adam Schwartz, she made this little gift baggie with all the things you would want in case you weren't feeling good during the convention to keep us going. I loved staying with the Dank Delegation. I was really lucky because it was all my buds, and buds both figuratively and literally. And
as you know, I love puns.
Organizers were cooking up for us the whole time. It was amazing. Anyway, okay, I got about 1 million stickers. Texas has a new don't mess with Texas Democrats thingy. Goats on his stickers, and I got a Clayton Tucker sign with a goat on it. Anyway, we love Clayton Tucker for Agriculture Commissioner. We hope to have him on the pod soon. He is fantastic. And our friend Jamaica Brown did win for CD33. Woohoo!
Yes, she did.
Of course she did. We got our Gina buttons. You got to get some Gina buttons.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then this was the support Kindle buttons that I literally, Jalon, you would love this. I basically covered my entire, my bag was covered in Kindle buttons, and then I was just passing them out the entire time. I literally got rid of hundreds of Kindle buttons, but everyone wanted them. They were very popular. And by the election day on Saturday, everyone had on a Kindle button. Signs that are put money in your pocket and save Texas schools, which is Gina's new, very direct mission or policy. So we're really pleased she's got that clear messaging, got a jean shirt. And I think that's it. That's a lot of stuff.
You also came back with taking photos with Representative Al Green. You also were sitting near Representative Justin Pearson's family.
Exactly.
You got to see one of your heroes make a surprise.
Yes, Dolores Huerta came out there, and man, she was amazing. Because, when someone comes out in their 96, I mean, I have a parent in their 90s, and, you kind of have probably a lowered expectation for their physical ability and what you want to put them through. And so they had her sit in a chair, and they had a little interview with her. And then when the interview was finished, the woman said to her, Dolores, do you have anything that you want to say before we finish? And she took the mic and stood up and was like, oh, I'm not finished. We have to get it in. You need to feel this. This needs to not just be something we're talking about here. I want all of you to feel your power. She had us all get up and we were all like, we are the power, the people power. It was really fun.
It's almost like the moment that she was no longer hiding her biggest secret. Like now it's like she's like this freedom of I'm talking everywhere and about everything, which I love that she was able to get that before the end of her chapter was over.
Her strength was, you could feel it. Really amazing.
Trying not to cry.
No, me too.
And
it's great to see. I feel like the message has, we Democrats have come to understand that we need to tout our success and fiscal responsibility, because that is a fact as well. That's also science, right? I mean, there's a weird thing that in the United States, the Republicans have really taken over the language of being the fiscally conservative party, but that's not accurate. If you look at science from 1970 to now, it's Democrats who've balanced the budgets. It's Democrats who have improved the economy, and Republicans have done the opposite. They have damaged our economy every time we put them in power. So we need to be in power everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere. More on that later, because that's part of my crash job. Anything else you want to add about the convention?
If you missed it, you do not have to feel left out. Literally, the entire thing is on YouTube. I put links in our newsletter to all the kind of the speeches I wanted to call out, but there were literally dozens of speeches I didn't mention. If you watch the open session, which they put in their live tab on YouTube, the Texas Democratic Party, you can see the entire session from Friday night, the entire session from Saturday. It was literally like 10 hours each or something, with like dozens and dozens of speakers. So if you have interest to see it all, it is there. Go check it out.
Thank you, Joey. One for telling us everything about the Texas Convention, 2 for going, and 3 for being a delegate. I appreciate all the hard work that you do to make the sausage. I'm out here making fun of the sausage.
It's good. We got to have some joy, and we brought a lot of joy to that convention. It was definitely a key element, and that's cool. Let's make some fun of stuff and keep it going.
Yeah, I mean, listen, like we always say, we're still going to get these jokes off. So every weekday, I bring the biggest news of the day to you, but we keep it very short and cute around here, kind of like me. But on this podcast, we have just a little bit more time to talk about something in depth. And I had another story that we were going to talk about. So I was going back and forth if I was going to bring up the Peter Thiel dialogue story again. But then something happened yesterday. The moment I hit upload on our news brief and posted it, something came through. Like all of a sudden, notifications just kept cycling through on my phone. So I don't know if you've heard this yet. You probably have. There is going to be a Republican midterm convention.
Yep.
And it's going to be in Dallas.
Yep.
Now, if you were like me, you're thinking, what the hell is a midterm convention? Great question.
I can tell you. So I just described, right, my attendance to the statewide Democratic Convention. That's something we do every 2 years. So whether it's a midterm year or a presidential year, we're always going to have a statewide Democratic convention. But the national conventions only happen during presidential years, historically. Because it's sort of like the galvanizing and culmination of all the things that have happened in the states. Then it goes to the national in order to bubble up and end up with our presidential candidates, right?
And real quick, that gives them 2 years to see if what the states are wanting to do works. So that it's not like immediately agreed upon and then immediately taken to the national stage.
Exactly. There's purposefully a break in the national conventions because there's a lot of work happening and there's new people get replaced and they try new policies and all that stuff. Exactly. You want to have some break in between so we can see how policies work and make changes.
And what the base likes.
Right, exactly. We wanna
Yeah,
keep iterating and improving and making things better.
ideally.
So they're and they're super expensive.
Mhm.
And they're sort of like the place where you want all your messaging to come from and the excitement about your candidates. And literally no one's ever heard of a no one's ever heard of a midterms national party convention. That's literally not a thing that I'm aware of ever having happened before. And it shows the desperation, right? I think it shows some real fear and desperation. I still don't like it as a person because it feels unfair because they're up there getting all these billionaires and trillionaires to give them all the money.
Which they're
And
now allowed to do
obviously
more
we
of.
can't
Yeah.
just pop one up ourselves like
Well, to
in
that,
response.
we were gonna have one. So I'm
Yeah.
reading here in March that they
There was
scrapped
talk, yeah.
plans. Yeah, yeah, there was talk.
Now, it's not being talked about yet, but I would still guess that we will do some sort of virtual event in response. Like, I would guess we're going to try to do something to sort of like distract airwaves from when they are having their convention, since they will try to, because this is the other thing that's common is that like traditionally the major news channels allow airtime, free airtime to the conventions. It's actually a thing that behind the scenes is negotiated like to the minute, and it's very feisty. So when the candidates go over schedule, it becomes a major 911 problem because they will literally turn it off and go to newscasts or whatever, the local stations. And so you have to fit in with your time. I assume because Trump obviously has so much influence over all of our major media networks that they will probably air it. And that's a problem for everyone, right? Because everyone is going to be subjected to this random convention that is not normal. So
Yeah,
it feels to me like another propaganda opportunity for this administration, and that's scary to me. I don't like that. So I assume again that we'll be doing some counter programming and
yeah.
all that to create some balance.
Your assumption is valid. Everything he does is propaganda. Between this Great American State Fair and now this he's calling it the Great American Comeback.
For the convention?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
no
said,
way.
quote, "It's never been done before and likely be truly a historical event." He posted this on his social media app. He previewed that he expects Republicans to celebrate the, quote, Great American Comeback, which he says includes tax cuts, improved border security, and, quote, lower costs, which is funny because he's been saying that's been a yawn all week.
Yeah.
Any type of relief for the American populace
Yeah,
is
he
a
said it was a
yawn,
yawn.
even though inflation has surged to its highest level in over 3 years. I've got more. Quote, "At the event, we will have hardworking Americans, our great innovators, entrepreneurs, manufacturers, first responders, and job creators who are powering our nation's golden age and proving that America's best days are still ahead of us," he said. The RNC chairman, Joe, who gives a shit, describes Dallas convention in a statement as Trumpapalooza that would showcase the administration's accomplishments. Quote, "President Trump will unite Republicans around our shared vision, build momentum, and deliver an incredible convention for our party." Now, I just want to remind our viewers and our listeners that they are such disarray in their party that he had to leave his golden palace on the hill, go up the street to Congress, yell at them because they would not pass one of his stupid bills, and now he's holding a bill that would add relief to actual American people. He's holding that ransom because he wants something that's so unpopular, it fails every time they go to vote for it. And it's coming to Dallas. It's coming to Dallas. To which I ask, when is our mayor up for re-election?
Next year,
Okay.
can't wait.
All right. I'm just asking. I'm just asking the
Locally,
question.
it really is all the buzz. I will say, like, it's funny because locally, obviously, you and I are very focused on these elections coming in November, but all I hear in just like chitty chat channels, it's all about who's running for mayor next year. Like, everyone's so excited
Yeah.
about that race.
A little bit more on this.
Mhm.
The location appears to intend to rally Republicans in Texas, where Attorney General Ken Paxton faces a strong challenge from Democrat James Tallarico in the U.S. Senate race. Now, to that I say a couple things. Ken Paxton does not want to be in the Senate. You know how I know? He has done interviews about how much he loves California.
I love like Jackson Hole. I like Park City. I like the mountains, and I also like beaches. I like places in Florida. I like places in California, even though I don't like to admit that I go to California, but it's beautiful.
He would rather be in California So if you are still on the ledge on who to vote for Senate, there's one person that is like still here in Texas, or there's somebody that keeps talking about how much he loves California and is currently on a 4th of July vacation with a woman that is not his wife or his mistress.
She is married and has 7 children and is a Christian influencer. And also, I wonder, okay, so this is the funniest thing that I thought about it this weekend. When it came out, like there was this video, right, of them in the like shuttle together. To me, what that made me think right away was that they chose that. I mean, they absolutely chose. They must have decided that politically it looks good for him to be dating this younger woman who he thinks is attractive, regardless of the fact that she is currently married with children. They feel like it's more important for him to look like he's with a hot chick going to Iceland.
Maybe, but I think the choice of going to Iceland during the World Cup and the 4th of July is like he didn't want that information to be out. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like he went to
I
Boston.
agree. Seems smart that you not want to be touting that you're leaving the country for 4th of July and that
For
you
the
are dating
250th.
someone who's married. But
Yeah.
But I mean, they could have taken a shuttle. Like, there's not a reason why we saw that. I mean, they could have
that's
taken a
true.
private limo, you know, so to me, there's not an excuse for why they saw it unless they chose to do that.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, even you and I have hired limos. Like, it's not a big deal. You can get a car to take you somewhere. Like, there's not a reason for them to take a shuttle. It's
don't tell all of our people how bougie I am, okay? I need to chill, okay? I'm a down-to-earth.
But yeah, salt of the earth.
Don't be telling people about how I move transportation-wise. You are correct. What the sitting president has done has made it so that you can be the worst husband, father, neighbor, pastor, the worst version of humanity, but you're still rallied behind to make sure you get a position of power. This man not only should not be in the Senate, he should not be our attorney general. His own party and this very red government in Texas impeached him.
Yeah.
I don't even know what we're doing
Republicans
anymore.
impeached him. Yeah.
I don't even know what we're doing. I thought everything that that Trump did in 2014, 15, 16 was going to be enough that he would not be elected. I thought everything he did in his first administration would make sure that, one, he would not get a second back-to-back. Thank God he didn't. But also he would not be able to be the nominee again. Somebody posted, this is not my crash out. I just want to preface this. I'm always walking a very tight line on whether or not I'm crashing out. But when Joey and I were younger, there was a vice president and he misspelled potato. And that ruined that entire election for them.
Completely. I mean, to this day, it's still the only thing anyone remembers about that person.
Thank you.
That's it.
One term is all this guy got because his vice president didn't know how to spell potato correctly.
Having just basic intelligence used to be a minimum requirement.
Again, it's not my crash out. But yeah, so we're not excited about this midterm Republican convention. Thankfully, everything entertainment-wise they do, they fail at. You know what I mean?
And it's just going to get more and more crowded as the week goes on.
Not only do we have a lot of people here, we have people that you want to have here, like Stacey Garrity. That woman's going to be next governor of Pennsylvania.
There we go.
Yep.
Yes, they're getting on TV. Yes, this thing will be clippable, whatever. But at the end of the day, when they try to put on something that is supposed to be entertainment, that's supposed to be so fun that you got FOMO. I wish I was there. I'm going to be down the street from it, and I am going to not even realize it's happening. Yeah. Like, everything they do is so boring.
It's always the same list. You know the keynote performer will be Kid Rock. We all know that. We all know it already.
Yeah. So we're not going to have interviews every episode, and this is going to be one of them. Now we're going to talk about how we try to add some levity to all these things that we talk about. So this is our segment called Everything is Political, where we talk about art or sport, because at the end of the day, everything is political. So, Joey, I'll let you go first.
So the thing that I want to talk about is the invention of the weekend and the concept of a summer holiday, which all of our time off, anytime you get time off, It's because of the labor movement.
Mhm.
Well, I say that. Corporations actually did get involved in the early 1900s because it was beneficial to them also to set in like a 5-day work week, 40 hours. These are your benefits. Here's your package. Like that was beneficial for everyone. But it's Democrats who are going to fight for anyone to have any kind of paid leave in this
Mhm.
country. Currently, we're the only nation in the World Cup who does not have any paid paternity leave or paternal leave in the United States. Like there are obviously companies you can work at, but as a national policy or even a state policy, as far as I'm aware, it's just not a thing. You can't really get paid leave.
And in fact, when men do ask for time off when their children are born, they're usually made fun of or laughed at. They're
Yeah,
the most
culturally, it's a no-no.
yeah, the first thing they say is, "What are you gonna do?" It's like, give your wife a break. Be her support system.
Change a diaper, go to the grocery store,
All of her
pay the
organs
bills.
have moved around, shifted for his big athletic baby. So what let me answer that question. I know, I'm sorry, Joey. I apologize.
No, it's good.
Let me answer that question going forward because this just happened with the World Cup. There was a player from Belgium who, great player, and he's like, actually, my wife's about to give birth, so I'm not going to be part of the team. And I think it was a French woman was like, what is he going to do? Let me answer this question for you. He's going to let her sleep. He's going to go get her a sushi meal and some sake or a glass of wine.
He's just going to be there sitting next to her during the most intense, in some ways scary and emotional and bonding moments of their family's life.
This is their family. This is their child. This is a human being that they brought in together. And she has done the bulk of the work up until now. So let him sit there with his shirt off, do skin on skin with this baby. Stop worrying about why people are not showing up for a game. This happens to baseball players all the time for whatever reason. Stop worrying about it. Stop asking what they're doing. You're not part of their family. Stop
It's
asking.
essential.
That is something that they decided. That's something that she probably said, I would like if it's possible. And he said, I would like to do that for you. Stop asking. Sorry.
But
Sorry.
because he's Dutch, did you say Dutch? Because
Yeah.
he's
Oh,
Dutch.
Belgium.
Because he's Belgian, he has due to him, based on just his nationality, that he will be paid for that leave that he
Yeah.
deserves with his family.
Yeah.
But here in the United States, we need to elect Democrats in order to get paid time off protected for all Americans. We knew all companies, all places should have paid time off. I have an acquaintance who currently is battling cancer, and because they work in a very small office, they are very likely to lose their job because they've had to take time off for a surgery, and now they have another surgery coming and some additional treatments, and the office is really unhappy about it, which to me is crazy because you just want someone to survive the cancer. But no, they are disappointed with her and tell her daily how disappointing she is while she is going through her cancer treatments. It's disgusting.
Another reason why our health insurance should not be attached to our employment.
Nope.
Yeah.
Single payer
And-
health care, which is in the Texas Democratic platform.
Yes, it
We
is.
want a single payer health care.
Mhm.
Everyone deserves health care. It should be a human right. We believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to add to this PTO conversation. Take your PTO. Take your PTO.
Live life.
Because the moment you are no longer working there, or God forbid something happens to you, they are posting about your job on LinkedIn to get somebody else in. Please take your PTO.
Take your
Please.
PTO.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
If you are lucky to have PTO, take every second of it.
Life is short and weird.
And
you
most
gotta
people
have fun.
do not have PTO. In
Mhm.
America, most people do not.
From some old ladies, please listen to it. We know what we're talking about. You take that time off. Take that time off, please.
What's your everything is political, Jalon?
My cousin called me or texted me. She said, hey, have you seen this documentary on PBS called Natchez?
Our pilgrims, as we lovingly call them, come from all over the world to see these beautiful homes.
I feel like I have stepped back in this lovely way to a lovely world.
That land literally has our blood in it. Our blood.
So Natchez is a city in Mississippi. It's right on the Mississippi River. And it's one of two interior slave ports. Most of the slave ports are on the East Coast. Natchez is famous for being this place that was so rich. Like there's these huge mansions to this day that are still there from these people that amassed so much money off of the free labor of the Black people that they enslaved there. Cotton was king there, but not just cotton. And the reason why she asked me to watch it is our paternal grandfather is from Natchez, and he probably would have stayed in Natchez if it wasn't for World War II and was shipped over to Paris. And I don't want to make light of World War II. My grandfather had fun. He had fun. You talking about a man who was in Natchez, Mississippi, who was a mechanic, and then they sent him over to Paris, and he wasn't part of the first wave of, bodies that had to clear and push Germans and everybody else out. He was after. So yes, we are from Natchez as well as outside of Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I'm watching this documentary, and the purpose of the documentary is to show what a city looks like past emancipation and how they're still holding on to it, right? And that's like their only legacy there. All they have are these huge, massive homes. The money has moved out pretty much. The way that they keep money into the city is tourists. You've got these antebellum tourists is what I'm going to start calling them. These people that want to see what life was like back then and how genteel and nice. And you're drinking tea on the porch and they're wearing the hoop dress. And this is nice. There's even white people on there like, it's just nice to just see how it used to be and how nice and calm everything is. It's like, for whom?
A woman at the beginning who's saying, I never understood why you would need so many people to help you in your house, but then I tried to put on a hoop skirt and I figured out I need someone to put it on for me.
And she's one of the good ones, yeah.
Oh, Lord, okay.
So I'm watching this documentary and I'm looking at a city that my grandfather was born on a sharecropper's farm on, knowing that there are slave cemeteries all over that place with no headstones that probably house a whole bunch of my family that I will never know the names or the faces of, right? So I'm watching a world that somebody I've hugged existed in, right?
Yeah.
So that's one part. I'm looking at Natchez for the first time in my life on this documentary. But as also, and my cousin and I talked about this, it is the perfect example of what racism is like in America. When Black people try to explain racism sometimes to white people, it's like, well, they weren't mean or violent. They didn't call you the N-word or anything like that. So it couldn't have been that racist. And it's like, okay, there are layers and levels to racism. And in the beginning, you see there's this white mechanic and he is across the street in a building that was a part of the slave trade, where you would buy and sell people, where people were brought in off the boats. And he's like, well, I mean, you want me to move my business for this National Park Services wants to make a national monument, national park out of this. Mm-hmm. He's like, you want me to move my business for this? And he's like, that history is bad. Like, why do you want to remind people that history? Like, we all get along. Like, we should just keep getting along. That's how he starts in the film. Then there's this other guy. And so it started off as garden tours. And then like this rain storm came in and ruined everybody's gardens. So they're like, okay, so now we're just going to make them home tours now. And that's how they keep bringing tourism money into Natchez. And so people come down to Natchez and they're going from plantation house to plantation house and they're being greeted by a beautiful woman in a hoop dress and they're being brought into these houses that are just filled to the brim of shit. Just shit. China, candles, this, that, just tchotchke to the bone, like crazy. And there's this one guy who's so like, you see him and he's like, oh, there's a gay guy there. And he's all like animated and he's like this and the other. And he's like talking and they're setting you up pretty much. And they're like, look how it's not that bad. There's a gay guy here, right? Like this is deep. Like you cannot get deeper Mississippi than Natchez almost, it feels like. Mm-hmm. And it's like deep, deep, deep red Mississippi. Here's this gay guy living in a plantation home.
Look.
Yeah. And he's like, oh. And the way they're edited.
People.
Yeah, and the way they're edited, it's like, oh, he's like, I'm not even joking. He's always moving like this. He's got like a little mint julep in his hand at all times. And he's like always moving like this, right? And then there's also this black guy who gives tours of Natchez that does not leave anything out. So those are like the main characters. You got the mechanic, you have the woman you brought up, you got this gay guy in the plantation house, and then you got this black pastor who is taking people around and saying, yes, these houses are beautiful. But also, so across the street from the mechanics a business is where they would sell black people. And there's nothing there anymore. There's now a plaque. They have welded into or kept welded into the ground iron leg cuffs where, you'd bring a black person over and you would cuff them to the ground so they couldn't get away. So there's still iron shackles there. That is still there, iron welded to the thing. So we've got this mechanic guy saying, hey, why you want to talk about this history? We all get along now. That history's bad. Later in the film, all of a sudden you hear him, hey, that black boy lies. Now, this pastor is older than me. Boy is an indication for black men specifically to not give them any type of respect, which is how we know cowboys were actually black. No matter the age, they'll be 80 and they'll still call them boy. That black boy lies is what he says. And it's like, the iron is here, welded into the ground. What are you talking about? Whatever. And then they cut back to this guy's house, and then all of a sudden you see like these mammified dolls in the house. And all of a sudden you're like, why are there mammy dolls there? And then all of a sudden you keep hearing beep, 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 beep when this guy's talking. And you realize he is saying the N-word over and over and over. At one point, because he's older, somebody said, how are you going to keep moving up and down these big stairs, the older you get? And he said, I'm just going to get some to carry me up and down these stairs. And I remember just watching this, like, so shocked because it was such an abrupt change. I mean, they kind of slowly get you into it because there's some white people in there saying, I just love how you make up your own history and that's what you decided to lean into. And it's like, no, this is
the actual
more. Yeah, this is more of the history. You have decided to put blinders on and be like, look how beautiful it was. Look at the hoop dress. Blah, 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 blah. It's great. Blah, blah, blah. Like, there's so much sadness that happened in and around that house. This segues slowly into the ruling that this administration's allowed to tell whatever version of history they want. Like, he passed this the executive order. He passed this executive order where you're not allowed to disparage any American living or dead. So that's why they are making sign changes in Philadelphia, which is where the first White House was with George Washington, because they also mention the enslaved people that he brought with him to Philadelphia. And they also talk about, to his dying day, he was chasing after a woman who dared to have her freedom. And just to know that it's not just on a federal level, it's also happening it's happening everywhere. Like, I don't know what my point is with this, but I do want to say that we cannot lose PBS. We cannot lose NPR. If you have any money, please donate to them because they're willing to do these stories that nobody else will.
And watch the Natchez documentary. We'll put a link to it.
Welcome to Crash Out Corner. Joey, do you have something that you would like to crash out about?
I have a crash out item that has been basically my crash out item, the same one inside the back of my head, always and forever, for years now, since I joined the CEC. It's really a thing that's kind of any organization you join, there's always a small number of people who you can kind of come to see as disruptors. And those people, it seems, are much more interested in themselves. They want to hear themselves talk on a microphone way more than they're interested in finding ways to work together. They're like that person. We talk in my classes a lot about each of us having like roles within our projects. Like someone's going to be a leader and someone might be a creative leader and someone's going to be a questioner, and having that questioner there is actually very helpful. That questioner is going to find the holes. They're going to see the issues before we get to them. And that's really helpful to have. But when you're trying to work together, let's say on a board or a committee or any other organizing, really, the goal is always to find ways to work together and to find ways to move our goals forward together. But there's always those few people who are there just for themselves. They want to hear themselves on the mic, and it doesn't matter the issue. They're going to argue against it. As a matter of fact, a couple people I can think of, they will oftentimes argue both sides of an issue because they're that just there to talk about it. They don't really care about, you can tell, they don't really have a real opinion about this. They just need to get up there. They want to hear themselves talk, and it's stupid, and I can't stand those people, and they need to back away and do something else with their time, because those of us there to organize are there to get shit done. So those people suck, and I'm tired of them.
Yeah, I mean, I see that a lot in our industry when you're having these creative calls with agencies. But when you're having these meetings and you hear somebody going, well, I was also thinking that maybe blah, da, 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 da. And you're like, wait a second, we've been having emails about this for weeks. And now all of a sudden you're bringing this new thing. And it used to send me through a spiral because I'm like, well, do we have time to figure this out? And then I forget when I realized this, but I was like, oh, they're saying something to say something so that when their review comes up, somebody can say, oh, but they did have that one good idea once. But you're right. Like, not everybody needs to be talking.
No.
That's a good crash out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you just came from a place where nothing but people on mics. One
Yeah,
can
it's funny
say,
because it wasn't even about the con, because they're
Yeah.
really, but it was more like, well, so there were some people in the con who lost certain roles that I'm pleased about and stuff like that. So that's what I was thinking about, like noticing people who might be losing some of their powerful positions because people are tired of that person just bogarting on a mic and being a disruptor rather than someone who wants to work with people and is a positive collaborator. Like, people are
Yeah.
tired of those people.
Yeah.
People don't need to hold power anymore just because they did. No, we're done with that era of time.
Which is a beautiful segue into my crash out. And I just want everybody to know, we don't script these. We have a very base outline that I'm following.
I never know what you're going to say.
I never put, because I don't want any preconceived feelings. But Joey, let me tell you something. You could not have segued better into my crash out.
Okay.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Democrats need to start listening to their base. Democrats need to start listening to their constituents. Democrats need to listen to the people that they are asking to not only vote for them, but to give them money. And we are being so fucking clear. I need all centrist and moderate Democrats to stop talking shit and talking down to the progressive wing of the party. You can't say that we are a big tent party and then just shut the door on the loudest and the growing part of the tent that is growing. I need y'all to look around and see what is happening. I need you guys to listen to what is I'm getting very upset. Joey and I are both Democratic Socialists, and we have been Democratic Socialists for years.
Decades,
this is not new to us. Yes.
No.
We've got a whole bunch of people who have been in power in our party too long. The time and the thought process of being the good ones, the ones that are willing to work bipartisanly, who are going to reach across the aisle, who are going to do this. We got to follow all the rules. Stop it. Because they haven't been doing that. They haven't been doing that. We have a long list of things that we have been shouting at convention to convention to convention. So I need everybody, including Shapiro out of Pennsylvania, to stop talking shit about these progressives that are clearly
on the
winning.
On the uptick. Come on.
Yes, this is not just a New York thing.
No.
This happened in Colorado last night.
It happened here in Texas. We elected Taylor Ramett in January, who was a devout Democratic Socialist running on a populist message and a union, employee and union-backed, that is all the way Democratic Socialist. And he won
in a red
in a hardcore Trump district. Yeah.
Yes. In a red county.
Yeah.
That's how popular progressives are.
And a mayor we just elected here in Texas too. She is a Democratic Socialist. In
Yes.
Texas, we are electing Democratic Socialists and we're happy about it. So come on, y'all, get on board.
Ecstatic. What we are asking for is not crazy. You've made us feel crazy. You keep saying that we can't afford this. And now we're watching in New York, just crying with our hands on the window looking in, that you can just do these things. If you have the money and people say, we're hiring you for this position to do this, and then you do this, people trust you.
When you deliver for the
When you
people
deliver.
and you show them that government is there to work for them, that's what the
Yes.
people want. That is
And that-
absolutely what the people want.
And that is what government is supposed to do. It's not supposed to lord over us. It is to keep us safe,
Represent us,
represent us, and what we want.
Mhm.
We're saying we're sending you to go speak for us.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what we're asking for, and we have been so clear. But my crash out is this: we are very clear as the base of the Democratic Party. We're telling you that what's happening in Palestine is a problem. We're telling you that that all PACs, especially APAC, is a non-negotiable for us.
All of this is on the Texas Democratic platform, by the way.
Thank God. The three progressives that won the nominees in New York City ousted centrist Democrats who all were supported by AIPAC. We're being clear. So that's my crash out. I'm getting tired of the establishment and the Democratic Party seeing this wave happen over here. The blue wave that they keep asking for is a progressive wave. And they keep just cutting the water in half and saying, we got to be bipartisan. We got to work with them across the aisle. This is not Santa's list. I'm not saying everybody should get a yacht. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying we should not be going poor just for basic human necessities. That's my platform.
I'm with you, girl.
Vote for me.
I will.
I keep seeing these clips of people trying to explain, and that's one of the civics lessons I want to do is what is a democratic socialist. I'm sick of these people looking at us like we've got these like wide eyes and we're, looking for unicorns or whatever. And it's like, I'm asking to be able to go
Basic necessities.
Yeah, I'm asking for people to not have to ration their medicine so they can survive. I'm asking so that people don't have to spend their entire paycheck on rent and then not be able to afford any food. We want you to fight for us. We're looking for people to fight for us. And we're getting sick and tired of y'all looking at us like, well, I tried to reach across the aisle. Baby, the aisle. If we give you the House and the Senate and you do not impeach that man immediately.
We got to figure out, though, how to explain to people that we have to temper our expectations for what happens if we do flip the House and the Senate, because we won't have the presidency still. So we need people to understand that we may do exciting things in the House and the Senate that will not get signed into law because of who we will have in the presidency currently. Even if we evicted him, we would still most likely have a GOP person there at the presidency, and then they're not going to sign our stuff. So that means we have to elect someone else in 2028. So it just continues, you guys. The elections are all the time and they all matter.
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah, I know. I know the work always continues. We always say that the work always continues. Like, this is not a one and done and you get to not give a shit and care about it. Like, this is a conversation that I internally have all the time because I was like, Joey, after this election, are we going to keep doing this? Like,
no, right?
Right? Like, what, like, when does the work stop? But yeah, the work does continue. Getting the House and Senate is the first step. That gets to stop some of it, not all of it. That also starts litigation for some of these war crimes and other things that we obviously are seeing is happening. Like, I've gotten to the point in our news brief, I'm doing an Iraq war update because it's like every ceasefire ceases.
Ceasefire, not ceasefire.
Yeah. What? Peace talks become unpeaceful.
All right, that's our show for this week. Thanks for watching or listening.
And if you would like to keep up with the news, we have a daily news brief where we talk about the biggest news of the story of the day. Nothing too in-depth, just enough to help you not look silly in the company Slack channel.
And if you want to know what you can do in your communities, how to be an active participant in your local government, I put out a weekly newsletter called Organizer's Corner.
That's right. And we've got you guys covered on all news and politics over here. So I keep up with the news for you.
And I keep up with the policy for you.
And together we help you become smarter and more consistent voters. We'll talk to you guys next week, maybe. Bye.